Today, we are going to be going over two news stories that just came out this week regarding the issues of schools reopening. One of those stories is coming out of Chicago. The other one, Clark County, Las Vegas, Nevada. These school districts are taking very different approaches and the reasoning for them. But let's dive into what's happening in Chicago. This just came out yesterday in the news. So for those who are unaware, Chicago public school teachers and staff were set to return to in-person learning Monday, which is today. But over the weekend, the Chicago Teachers Union voted to continue remote learning with 86% voter participation. 71% of those teachers voted in favor to continue remote learning until at least January 25th. Now, we're going to read you guys a statement from the district because the district is pushing for in-person learning. This is a statement from the district. I'm going to read it off to you guys now. Quote, "We've seen grades, attendance, and enrollment drop significantly for many of our students in the recent months, and the impact has been felt most by our Black and Latino students," quote, according to the district. Now, Chicago has around 350,000 students in the district. It's the nation's third largest school system. So this issue is really important because the district is seeing grades, attendance, and enrollment drop significantly. They're seeing this happen to the minority community, and they're pushing for in-person learning. Yet, Chicago school teachers have voted against it and are going to remain remote. We're going to keep everyone updated on what happens with the situation in Chicago, but this is an important story. We feel like it was important to highlight, and one that we should keep, researching and just finding out why the district is now going for in-person. Teachers are not going for in-person. They want to stay remote. Like I said, Chicago is the nation's third largest school district. Now, this story actually just came out of Clark County, Las Vegas, and Nevada. This is the next one. It was reported by the New York Times. So I'm going to read you guys this headline. We're going to dive into a little bit of this article, and I want to talk about something that I've been reporting on and how it kind of connects to this issue. So this is the headline from the New York Times. "Surge of student suicides pushes Las Vegas schools to open." This is a quote from the New York Times. "The spate of student suicides in and around Las Vegas has pushed the Clark County District, the nation's fifth largest, toward bringing students back as quickly as possible. This month, the school board gave the green light to phase in some return of some elementary school grades and groups of struggling students, even greater as Las Vegas continues to post huge numbers of coronavirus cases and deaths. According to the New York Times, in Clark County, 18 suicides have occurred over the past 9 months of school closures, which is double the amount of suicides Clark County had last year, which was 9. This is according to Dr. Jera, who was interviewed here for this article. 6 students died by suicide between March 16th and June 30th. 12 students died by suicide between July 1st and December 31st, according to the district. I'm going to read you guys a quote from the Clark County superintendent. This is the quote. "When we started to see the uptick in children taking their lives, we knew it wasn't just the COVID numbers we need to look at anymore. We have to find a way to put our hands on our kids, to see them, to look at them. They got to start seeing some movement, some hope." So important news stories coming out this week on the issue of reopening schools. But the fact that Clark County is now going to return partially to in-person due to the alarming rate of suicides is a really important topic this country needs to have when it comes to mental health, children and teens, and these ongoing lockdowns. These kids and teens, they need that social interaction, which they have not been getting. Now, for those who have been following my work, this past week, I got to spend a couple days in Vancouver, Washington, and I got to meet the Brainies family. This is a family of 5 in Vancouver, Washington. This married couple has 3 boys. All 3 boys have good grades. They all play sports, and their second to oldest, which his name is Taven Brainies, he's 13 years old. He actually attempted suicide. He shot himself in the head on January 6th due to falling into depression due to the ongoing lockdowns, according to his dad, Nick Brainies, when I interviewed him. According to his father, Taven was a social kid. He was an athletic kid. He had great grades. He played multiple sports. He was taking Excel classes in the 8th grade, so he was already taking high school classes. But one thing they kept mentioning it was that Taven was a social butterfly, that he needed to be around people. He liked making people laugh. He really cared about his appearance, so he would dress really nice before going out to school. And they started to see Taven change when the lockdowns happened. as the lockdowns continued, his father referred to me that his son started making comments of, why can't I go back to school? Why are things still closed down? When can I see my friends again? Why am I always stuck in the house? They started to notice those comments. Then those comments started to turn into Taven waking up really late during the day. So he would wake up between noon, 1, just didn't really care about waking up early and finishing up his schoolwork. He started then getting behind with his schoolwork. Then he started not caring about his appearance and things like that. So we spoke about a lot of the factors that led to that moment, but this is really an important issue that I feel like a lot of American families, we need to start having this discussion of the mental health of children and young teens regarding these ongoing lockdowns and school closures. And this story from New York Times and Clark County just really highlights the importance of that. I mean, 18 suicides over the past 9 months. That is an alarming rate. And then it was just an interesting approach here from the Chicago public school teachers, where they voted to remain remote learning and voted against in-person learning when the district says, hey, we're seeing grades being affected, enrollment and attendance, it's taking a significant drop. Let's go back to in-person, and that they're seeing it mostly felt by students in the minority community. So I wanted to highlight these two stories just to really get this discussion going on mental health, teens and children. For those who have been following my work, you know that I've been focusing on this issue. I'm going to keep talking about this issue. I have more interviews with more parents who are going to share the story. And stay tuned, guys. We're going to have the full story on what happened with Taven Brainies out later this week. But really wanted to highlight these two stories for you guys. Once again, I'm Jorge Ventero, field correspondent with the Daily Caller.